this was such a long time coming. I think very shortly after I came onto that Park Place.
Before you even go into that, why don't we give people an introduction if they don't know who you are?
Sure.
What do you do? Who are you? And what is happening right now? I guess we'll go
Yeah.
back.
So my name is Marvin Montanaro. I'm a journalist with 20 years of experience. I've been a professional writer for all my adult life. Even before then, I started as a teenager. I have a YouTube channel. It's called Tooneytown TV that I host with a puppet, Marvin the Movie Monster. But what people mostly know me from is I'm the editor-in-chief of thatparkplace.com, where we cover all the news that should be fun. And today we announced that we have entered into a partnership with the great folks over at Geeks and Gamers, where we have relaunched the Geeks and Gamers website. We have brought our newsroom over there, and I am currently working as the managing editor of Geeks and Gamers alongside the editor-in-chief, Alex Gerzo, who's amazing and awesome. And then I am still going to be the editor-in-chief of thatparkplace.com at the same time. So I'm not going to sleep very much, but that's nothing new.
Fair. I brought up an article from Jonas today.
Yeah.
And now in relation to you, who is Jonas?
So Jonas J. Campbell, I mean, he is also obviously the producer of the WWE Pro Show, but he is now our director of website operations for both Geeks and Gamers and That Park Place. So Jonas has taken a big job here, and he's kind of overseeing everything. And Jonas was instrumental in all of this done.
What is the, I guess, expected outcome or goal from this partnership?
The goal here is, I mean, look, we are all tired of the corporate access media, right? We are all tired of the IGNs, the Polygons, the Kotakus, all of them. And what we have done is pooled our resources, pooled our experience, our audiences, and we are trying to create the alternative. Jeremy said this and Pro said it as well. We're not trying to compete with anyone in our space. Because we love and support the fact that people are able to go out there and have their own platforms as well. We don't see ourselves as competing with folks that are in our YouTube space or, in the independent news space. We see ourselves as a direct challenger to the IGNs of the world. And that is what we're going for. We are going for the corporate media here. We are taking back the news, putting it in the hands of fans, in the hands of geeks, in the hands of gamers, in the hands of people that love theme parks and don't want the corporate spin.
I think that is a serious threat. Before I brought you on here, I was telling people how we were going to have this chat tonight. And I was thinking, like, man, for the longest time, just as a independent content creator, even before I was taking the angle of these people don't have my best interest at heart,
right?
Even before I started taking that angle, I noticed a very specific vibe coming from the don't cross us or else you're blackballed. And that was the vibe that I got from Corpo Media. And I'm like, I feel like that kind of ties your hands. It makes you kind of bend the knee and kiss the rings, bow to the overlords. And I'm like, that's in a weird way. That's exactly why they're losing the battle, is because people that want information. I mean, I feel like this sounds like a fucking infomercial the way I'm talking to you, but like it's true. It's like people want real information from real people that have like an agenda to be like, oh yeah, and here's why this game's great, and this is why you have to buy this game too, and this game too is. It's like, no, sometimes it's bullshit. Sometimes you don't want to support a company. Sometimes they're pushing an agenda and they're not being fully transparent with it.
Well, I mean, and just like if you need to know like how corporate, especially the gaming world, has gotten, look no further than like the Game Awards. Look at the Dorito Pope stands up there in his tuxedo with it's gowns and tuxedos and all this other crap, and they're up there just pushing the corporate spin. And remember, Hogwarts Legacy didn't get nominated for anything despite being the biggest game of the year, all because of activists having a problem with J.K. Rowling. You get things like Wokest Game of the Year. And that's one of the ones that gets an actual acceptance speech. It's absolutely insane. And it's time to take the artificial out and start putting the real news delivered by real fans into the hands of the people. And yes, he is called the Dorito Pope.
Yes. And it's almost like the natural evolution of information flow. Like if there is a disturbance in the force, if you will, naturally people are going to look up and be like, something doesn't smell right now. It would be like, I don't know, if Ghost of Yotei wins Game of the Year over Expedition 33 or something like that.
Right.
Like it's gonna be, that would be on the levels of the Hogwarts Legacy not being nominated. Maybe actually no, Hogwarts Legacy not being nominated still crazier than that.
Insane.
Like insane. But it's those kind of things where it makes people wake up from, like, it makes the normies be like, wait, there's got to be something more going on here. And then they tune into YouTube and they see people talking and they're like, okay, I'm not going crazy. There's a lot of other people that feel this way right now.
Well, and this is why, voices like yours are so important, why people like Grums are so important to the community, because you guys are speaking for the gamers, and that is so, so important. And just to answer some questions I'm seeing in the chat also, by the way,
Oh yeah.
our two websites are not merging into one website. We are running both sites independently. So you're going to see different things on that Park Place that you'll see on Geeks and Gamers, because the two websites kind of have different strategies and paths. They're meant to accomplish different things. So,
But work in conjunction with each other.
exactly, we're all one team working toward a lot of good things, but we are doing it on two fronts essentially.
And I don't think people really understand the level of effort and work that you really do put in behind the scenes on each article that you put out there.
It's a lot.
I mean, I do, because I did it for a
Yeah.
while. So you know that I know what you do. And it's a lot of work. It's actually it's very in a weird way, it's very thankless work. Like you're like behind the scenes, you just do it. It feels like you don't get like pats on the back ever.
Mhm.
And you're busting your ass day in and day out getting these articles out there. What motivates you to keep going? Because I personally, I still write
Mhm.
articles maybe once a month on my website, but I used to do it daily and it just burned me out. What drives you?
I've always loved journalism, like, since I was a kid. Like, Superman is my favorite superhero of all time, but I loved Lois and Clark. That was my introduction to Superman, but what I
Mhm.
really loved about it was Clark Kent as a reporter. I always loved the investigative journalism of Lois and Clark, and so ever since then, I was like, "I'm gonna be a reporter, or, I just a writer in some way." I was able to, get into newspapers at the time, when I was still a teenager, and, it was a dying industry then, it's a dead industry now.
Mhm.
Um, but journalism has always had a strong place in my heart, and it's kind of just the love of the game. It's just somebody has to report this stuff, somebody has to say this stuff. And we have seen things on our side on that Park Place, like the federal government cited one of my articles in
I
the
remember that.
FCC cited
Yep.
us in their investigation of Disney. So like we know that we're making a difference in the stuff that we're putting out there. And that's kind of the motivation that keeps us
Isn't
going.
that, by the way, not to interrupt you, but isn't that crazy
It
to
is.
know that, not that that Park Place is like a no-name website or anything,
Mhm.
but that you as like an individual can make an impact where the fucking US federal government notices what you wrote and they cite you.
It was an interesting day at the office. I remember, like, Pro saw it first, I think, and he came to me and he was just like, "Hey, so I don't know if you saw this." And I saw it and I was like, he goes, "Oh yeah, check out like citation." I forget what number it is now. And I looked at the citation and I was like, "You're kidding me!" Like it was it was validation. I mean, like, then the
Mhm.
fact that the federal government now is starting to actually take the things that independent media is saying, like going outside the box of the legacy media. I mean, and that's why you're seeing things like Barry Weiss becoming the head of CBS News. She's new media. I mean, she left
Mhm.
the New York Times, started her own thing on Substack, and now she's going to be running CBS News because
Wow.
the new media has really got it over the legacy media because
Yep.
of everything we've talked about. So
Yep. And there
you
is, it's not like tinfoil hat either. Like the
no,
more, the deeper you dive into this, the more you realize there is a cabal of people that want to push you out constantly.
and there are so many people on YouTube that we love to highlight. I mean, I love on that Park Place whenever we get to cover things from Gothic Therapy, for example, because the
Mhm.
work that Raven and Master of the TDS do is incredible in
Mhm.
the lengths that they go to expose a lot of these things with like Sweet Baby Ink or with Wings and all that other stuff. And I was just like, I'm honored to be able to kind of give that a platform and boost it as much as I can.
And that
And
should be, by the way, that should be very inspirational to everyone out there,
mhm,
because this is how you get a start. It's a lot of grinding. It's a lot of doing the dirty work, the digging behind the scenes,
yeah,
the hours and hours. People don't understand when you come forward with a story, the time that goes in the background to just bring it forward. People just see the end result and they're like, "Oh, what a grifter." It's like, do you have any idea how much work went into getting this article out there?
well, I mean, look at just the other day we covered this Games Radar. I think it was, posted this editorial about how like, well, Hogwarts Legacy 2, if they want to avoid the boycott that hit
Oh
Hogwarts
god.
Legacy 1, they
It's
got to
so
do what
bad.
we say. I wrote
It's
a
so bad.
scathing editorial about that because I'm like, this is out and out false. There
Terrible.
was no boycott.
Nope. It was terrible. That's actually goes to show how far quote unquote journalism standards have fallen over the years. But in a weird way, I guess you could argue that plays to your benefit because every time an outlet like that puts out an article like that, they fall in the ranks. People are like, oh, they're one of those, and it's just
Mhm.
like I don't want to go to that site anymore. They're gonna throw that shit out there. No thanks. That's why every time I wrote an article, personally, I was just like, I want to put my best foot forward with anything I want to talk about
Right.
because it might be the only time someone ever encounters my website. So I hope it's a good one that they read and not just a bullshit just to fill the time with it.
Stanley used to say that every comic book is somebody's first comic book.
Yes.
And so I've always believed that, like, every article on the site is somebody's first article on the site. Every video that you make on a YouTube channel is somebody's first video on your YouTube channel. So you have to put your best foot forward with that as well. Um, so yeah, I totally get what you're saying. It's you got to put 100% into everything that you do, essentially.
Yep. And you've been doing a great job.
Thank you.
Why don't you because we've been going for a little bit here. Why don't you give people some more details on like what they can expect coming out of this partnership and like time frames? Is there like a contract in place? Is this just for eternity? It's what
Well,
what what
I
what
mean,
can you say? What can you not say? All that kind of
I
stuff.
mean, there's not really much I can comment on with contracts. I don't even really know the specifics of the contracts. I'm just kind of, like I'm a soldier on the ground essentially, and I'm
Mm.
going where they tell me to go. That's not something I can really comment on. But what I can say is, so geeksandgamers.com relaunched today around 4 o'clock Eastern, and was announced on Friday Night Tights that we're doing this. So what you're going to see also on Geeks and Gamers is we are going to shine a spotlight on creators as well. So, if the Critical Drinker does a video about Taika Waititi, for example, we're going to have a video about it. We're going to spotlight what he says and the points that he makes. And that, by the way, that is an article that's coming out tomorrow,
Nice.
that we've already gotten the cam because he just did a whole thing on that. We're going to
That's
be,
you. This one's from you too here, the Star
yeah,
Wars Rise of Skywalker. This is you. So
yep,
on
that
Geeks and
one's me.
Gamers main page. That's dude, this is awesome.
They really did a great job designing the site. Our team, and then this is all the G&G folks that are on YouTube. Uh, you know,
Like
easy to
this is pro all the way though. Like this is like this is the next generation of news media right here.
I hope so. I hope, and I really think it will be. I think we've got a whole bunch of great people. I mean, we have, Odin is, writing some articles for us, and Criticless. We're also, tied in with Criticless now. Geeks and Gamers actually. There's an article in here about that as well. Ripasend is doing merch, and Criticless. Whenever I do articles about anything with Rotten Tomatoes, I will give the Rotten Tomatoes score, and then I will make sure that I give the Criticless score because Criticless, I think, is the future of movie reviews.
So
Um,
what is Criticless?
so Criticless is an app that you can download on your phone, and it is a movie review app. It is a movie review aggregation app. So, but there are no professional critics on there. It's just fans that are out there reviewing these movies, giving them scores. There's also questions that you answer for each one, like there's a slider that you'll be like, how far does this lead into politics and which side? Is there
Mm.
swearing in this movie? Is there nudity in this movie? Things like that. And Criticless is kind of I mean, I can't speak for Blaine and his team that they do amazing work. But it is a kind of fan driven Rotten Tomatoes where we don't lean on a professional critic score that's bought and paid for by Hollywood studios. Blaine and his team are creating a spot where the fan's voice is the one that matters. That's the thing that gets pushed out.
And once a fan's voice gets loud enough to be heard by the studios, they have to listen.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Yeah.
and so it's not just providing information to people, but it's actually in a weird way enacting actual change to get things back to the way that we grew up and loved and fell in love with these.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts or takeaways that I didn't ask for what's going on here that you wanted to make sure we threw into this video?
No, I mean, I want to make sure I give a big shout out to Alex Gurzo, who's the editor in chief over at Geeks and Gamers. He's such a great guy. He's been the editor in chief of Geeks and Gamers for 10 years, and he is
Wow.
still going. He is a trooper of the highest order, and I am having a blast working with him. He's such a cool guy. And I've had great conversations with with Jeremy and Jonas and Pro and Jay Drunk 3PO. Like, those guys are just the best of the best, the most genuine people I've ever met, kindest people I've ever met. And this is the team that's going to be bringing you guys the news, and that is going to hopefully change the game and offer an alternative.
Yeah,
Less
they do
saturation.
they do a really good job of acting like they're lazy, but they are like some of the fucking
Yes.
hardest workers out there. And they're grinding away. They're always on it. So yeah.
Yep.
Cool, man. Cool. Well, this is awesome. It was a pleasure to have you on. And I am really, like, genuinely, when I say this, I'm genuinely looking forward to the future of what comes out of this. I think that this, like I said, is the future of games media, entertainment media, is user driven by real people, not corporations. This is the type of place I want to be going to. I don't want to go to like CBS News to find
Mhm.
out about a movie. You know what I mean? Like, who
Yeah.
would do that? I
Yeah.
don't want to go to Rolling Stone to find out about a video game. Like, these people don't give a shit about these things. They
Mhm.
just, because they have the space, they just threw it on top of it. It's like, that's not authentic at all. That doesn't work like that.
Right. And authenticity is the key. People know at this stage of the game when you're bullshitting them.
Yes.
They can sense it.
Yep.
As real as a football bat is what I've heard people say before. Like, oh, well, it was a lot of what the mainstream news is. So you just have to be real with people. You have to, like, actually break it down. Like, we have an article on that Park Place right now about the Snoop Dogg thing.
Oh God.
Which I think we'll be talking about on Geeks and Gamers tomorrow as well. So, I mean, like, we're breaking it down. Like, hey, like, this is what he said, but, like, this is what he said a few weeks ago. So, you got to create that timeline and kind of pull people through it, because some people didn't follow the story. And if you read the Variety story, it's a triumphant Snoop Dogg, situation. But then when you actually, like, did you actually listen to the song? Because it's awful. It's
Oh
ear
my God.
cancer.
No, I have not, nor do I want to, but
No, don't. Do
I
yourself
did
a
see
favor. Don't.
this.
I did it so that you don't have to, Jay.
Yeah, jeez. But I will say, and I'll leave it at this, like you said, authenticity is so important. And I think of it from like a personal perspective. If I am reading an article or watching a YouTuber and I get a hint of, this motherfucker doesn't give a shit about that, I'm out. I'm like, nope, done, next. Because you need that. You need that connection with the person. So that's
Yeah.
why these companies keep failing. And that's why this shit is never going to work. Especially whatever the hell.
Did you see the quote where he said, like, man, I forget exactly how he put it, but he was like, loving everyone and expressing love. Like, that's what real gangsters do. And I was like, what? No, like, that's not what real gangsters do. Real gangsters sling dope and smack a
Right?
bitch.
It's like, what did they do to your kids and your family? Are
Right.
they locked up somewhere, Snoop? Can we help you? What's going
The
on?
president of Hollywood got on a phone call with him. It was like, you're gonna do this.
Exactly. Marvin, it's been an honor and a pleasure to have you. I know
Thanks,
you
man.
have like a ton of places you need to be tonight. This is like a big, big day for you today.
Yeah, I've been going nonstop since like 6 o'clock this morning, and we're still going now. But
Dude,
do you mind if I plug my channel?
oh no, please have at it.
Yeah, so Tooneytown TV, please check it out on YouTube. It's Tooney Town TV. I host it with a puppet called Marvin the Movie Monster, and we kind of rail against a lot of the media stuff that we cover on That Park Place. We do cover a lot of That Park Place, and now we'll be covering a lot of Geeks and Gamers articles on there. So please check it out. We go live on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and I do a morning show, 9 a.m. on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Marvin, it's awesome, honor and pleasure. Mods, if you don't mind, please sharing Marvin's channel. And Netflix Foreign says, who is Marvin's favorite journalist, old and new?
I really like Barry Weiss. I think that she's a great voice for the middle of the road. As WW Pro likes to call it, the mainstream middle, the sensible center. Because I believe to do news, that's where you have to kind of live. Like, you have to be more of a centrist, even if you swing more one way or the other. It's all about presenting the news. Honestly, I can't think of anyone old. I mean,
Walter Cronkite.
Yeah, I mean, like, exactly. If you want to go back far, I mean, I was a kid, but like, I really enjoy Megyn Kelly.
Tom Brokaw.
Yeah, I'm pro guy. I've always liked Tucker,
Oh yeah,
you
yeah. I
know,
like Tucker
and
a lot. Yep.
yeah, and I mean, I loved Charlie Kirk. I
Yeah.
mean, if you consider him a journalist, which I do,
Yeah.
I did because he was bringing information into people's homes.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
If you could argue even that he was actually the next generation of what media and journalism was. So
Mhm.
EB for member for 9 months says this gives me hope at Marvin.
Well, I hope we can, you know, I hope we can live up to that hope.
Yeah, you will. If it's anything like that Park Place, I don't have any worries at all. So,
Yeah,
Marvin, I'll let you get back to it, man. I know you got
thanks,
other
man.
places you got to be. Really appreciate this time, and we'll have you on again for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love
And
to come on and talk games, like
yes,
whenever
yes,
you're, so absolutely.
absolutely,
I'll
absolutely.
talk
All
to you
right,
later,
man.
man. Thank you so
All right,
much.
yeah. Have a good one. You too. Thank you so much. Later. Bye. And that was awesome. That was awesome.